The thing I can say about the end stage of the game here is there's only 5 more rounds. Oh, boy. And it's, you know, sad, but true. Who gives me grain? I don't know. But I know the private forest is the wood here. The food goes to him for the well and or the carp pond. What you do if you have both, I don't know. The granary is this one. And here it's, these stages are, in the last one, are 2 cards each. For whatever reason, the years have gotten shorter. We talked about that earlier. And this one's going to be a cattle. Our first player's over there. I got to set up some crap and then on with the misery. Here's a fundamental problem. No capability to cook animals, but animals seems to be a big part of my strategy for some reason. Nothing, no clay that I can build the hearths with, whatever. And I would like to either build fences or increase the size of my housing. Those would be the things that I think would help me the most in general, but I kind of can't afford to because of the food problem. But there's a bonus. There's so much food lying around in a couple of spaces. As long as I'm first player, I can kind of short circuit the food problem. So I'm going to take my chance here because I think I'm falling way behind otherwise and grab a bunch of wood. The next couple of players, this guy put down mother of twins. That's going to let him do a family expansion for 1 food. I should have enough food to get me through next turn. To get 2 more people, that means maybe even on the next round, I'll be able to be putting 4 plays on the board, which is a powerful, powerful jump. Remember, yeah, no one else has more than 2 at this point. Now, that means when I see that come out, I know I'm not going to be able to grow my family easily. But let's talk about the next guy here. This guy built a huge pasture. This gets him 4 quick victory points in terms of pastures, he's up to 4, 5, 6, which is fine. He didn't need to build that many to get himself to the maximum pastures. But that big pasture, normally you wouldn't want to do this, but he has a card that allows him to mix animals in a given pasture. That's fine. And it's cheaper than building fields at this point. That gets me to this guy. Now, he would like to expand his family. Everyone wants to expand their family. But I'm not going to get a chance because I know this one's set up for it. Now, of course, he could delay, right? Take some other action instead to gain an advantage on that, which, you know, you could try to keep him honest that way. I have the scholar, which is important to me because at the start of each round, I can play another occupation, and I have a couple that are kind of interesting that I would like to get into play, I guess. By playing occupation, well, since one's already taken, this one's going to cost me 2 food at this point, but maybe that's worth it. Other options might be building more field. I want to sow my ground, and I think that's what I'm going to go with because maybe I'll be able to get that occupation next time. But again, that screws me out of the freebie placement next time. Plowing's hard. It doesn't gain you much. You know, I only use up one of my spaces for it, but I have the vegetables and the grain. We got to get those up to 8 and 4 each. Kind of want to plant vegetables too because they have a better food production with this if I need it. That brings me back over to the start. What the hell did he do? He grabbed wood. You got to figure out why. Why is it's not very good now that mother of twins is out. Of course, I may want to build the house anyway, but there aren't a lot of reeds available. I might want to build more pasture in and try to take a different animal. I have the lasso. I can do that next turn since I'm first player, maybe. It's round 6 or more. So I could take a vegetable not this way, and I think that's what I want to do. I can get some additional food. I'm not really, I probably can handle it with the baked bread option, but getting that vegetable, well, I've got enough food now. Getting that vegetable is going to help me get towards some of my victory conditions. So at least there's that. To the red player, I do the mother of twins. I spend my last food to get me this stuff. Do I have enough food for time going forward? Well, I'll be getting vegetables for 3. It's not enough. Okay, so I'm in trouble because I'm going to need like 8 food instead of 4. Problematic. Something we have to solve somehow. Who knows how, but some animals would help. Also, landing on one of these might be an option for us. By doing this, I get a minor improvement option. Now, I don't have enough wood for the wood cart, which, you know, would be kind of cool, maybe. It produces 3 extra wood, but it's a little late in the game. I don't have the joinery, and the other things aren't available. Well, I don't have the other things in my hand, and the joinery has been taken already. Unless the sawmill comes out, which replaces this, which I just happen to know from the last game. I'm not going to get a shot at getting it, so this card is pretty useless. Alms is useless. I have a bunch of occupations. The mansion is interesting. I get 2 bonus points for each room in a stone house, but I'm a long way from a stone house. So I think I'm going to spend a wood to play the broom improvement, which actually gets played out. These get discarded, and I'm going to get 7 new cards to choose from. It's just a bonus here. It's worth spending the extra wood for, I think. Could come around and kick me in the ass, but we'll see what I get. I'm going to examine the cards until later, but one of them was so silly I had to. Okay, spit roast. When you convert animals to food, you get an extra food. That would be useful. I don't know what my chance of getting a minor improvement is in the future, which was kind of the iffy thing about the card, unless it's something great. This maybe isn't that great. Maypole. Play this card before the end of round 4. When you play it, place one of your unbuilt fences upright on an unused farm space. If you haven't knocked it over by the end of the game, you get 2 bonus points. The space counts as used. If someone else knocks it over somehow, it's not your fault, and you get to set it back up. Things like that are, to me, disturbing. This is not a dexterity game, and there are people who have issues, you know. Not just with general clumsiness, but, you know, you could have something like a physical problem that, you know, gives you shakes or something. Then that card just gets knocked out of the game for you. It sucks that you drew it, and you should be able to probably get some way out of it. Lettuce patch. On this card, you can plant vegetables as you would on a field. Vegetables on this field can be converted to 4 food when harvested. Well, that's interesting. And it says can, not must. So you could convert them to vegetables instead. Acreage. When you sow, you can plant 2 grain fields on this card. Okay. Doesn't count as a field when sowing. So again, I'd have another place where I can plant stuff. That sounds interesting too. See, I don't know if this one doesn't talk about harvesting. This gives an option on harvesting, but it doesn't tell you whether or not it's something special, and I don't want to look it up. Oh, a corpse. No. When you sow, you can plant up to 2 wood on this card. The wood is treated the same as sown grain and harvested during a field phase. Probably a bad idea at this point, but might be kind of cool early in the game when grain is rare and wood is very necessary. Lumber, when you play this, you get 3 wood, and then you pass it. Again, a nice card early in the game. It costs a stone, though. That's expensive. And Builder's Trowel, you can renovate a wooden hut to a clay one at any time without using the renovate action. But you still have to pay for it. So it costs you 1 more to do. Other than the cops, the lettuce patch is worth a victory point. That might be of some interest. Clay to build himself another, and a reed, to build himself another room. That means now I'm open to lay down another person. Of course, can't do it this round, but I didn't have the people to do it this round. Kind of holding off on trying to grab one of these other animal types. Do I need a stable? Stables are worth a point each. So I could build a couple of stables. I could actually build a bunch of stables here and just say screw growing vegetables. That's not a great move though, because there are points for both fields, having any at all, and growing stuff. This guy is close to where he needs to be, but I'm at 6. I'm gonna have to grab more wood to get more wood. Wood's not worth anything. I feel like this guy was just a total fucking red herring in terms of what I want. In which case, what am I gonna use wood for in this game? That's really what it comes down to. So there are no improvements there that require wood. What about what's in my hand? The tavern requires 2 wood, 2 stone, and is worth victory points. I would like to put that out. The riding plow takes 4 wood, which allows me to do heavier plowing. Which I kind of like. So all 6 of my wood is eaten up by those 2 improvements. Ugh. Of course, I don't have many turns left to do all this, but plowing that ground seems valuable. I think the points for the stables are a bad choice. That'll bring me to the last player. There's 2 fields, kind of important because I need to get my vegetables up a little bit, and I might be making schnapps because food, and I need to get my grain value up, but I'm also neglecting all kinds of other values. You know, there's this manifold. Can you reach everything? I don't think so. Certainly I can't, but we'll see. We'll see how well people can do. That gets us to the end of the round, and red is allowed to double place because they used the twins. The restriction comes when you place the family member on the card, not when you have to bring them back. So I don't have like if I build another room, the family spreads out to take that room up, as would be the normal case. But as long as, it's okay that I'm crowded because the twins can sleep in bunk beds. 2 food, they should be both going to the same person because of this, which, hey, maybe I won't have to boil those vegetables down. And round 11, something happens. Hut builder. At the start of round 11, you can extend your hut by 1 room at no cost. Now, it's as long as you have not yet renovated to a stone. Okay. So, actually, There I go. But I can still have more twins. And there's also other ways that can happen. This counter goes away, and we see what the card for this is. It's going to be more stone creation. First player is still over here. It's hard to move that first player off this because, you know, now you've got things that maybe you can combine with the renovations and everything, depending on how good your riches are. I gotta swap batteries. Cows are growing. Here I am in the position. I have enough food for my family, as long as I don't grow my family. I believe that means I can do the same thing as I did before and grab me some animals using the lasso capability and build another set of these. Now, let's see what I want here. Sheep, I need 8 or more. That's going to be hard without stables or without fencing in a lot of territory. Either's possible. Boars, I need 7 or more. Again, same kind of problem. I'm going to need to fence in territory and build stables. So we're starting to see what's going on here. Cattle, 6 or more. I don't have enough wood to do everything I want. Yes, the resources are growing, but the wood is not that heavy. I guess he grabbed the 6 wood or something. I think we're going to do, though, the fence and lasso me some cattle and see what we can build up. My capability, I have 1 fence left. You know, that fence is not very useful unless I have that card that puts it straight up. I mean, I could divide a field or something, but yeah, the number of fences, you have a little bit of leeway with it. And there's another card which takes your fence and puts it on an operation. And whenever you do that operation, you get a fence for free, which is kind of cool because you get to like build your fences very slowly. But you got to find a card that you want to hit a lot. And there aren't that many. Plow field might be an interesting one for that. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep moving. So this is the food time. I need 8 food here. It's going to be hard to do, but I can get piles of it here or here. This guy needs food too. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he can cook himself. He's got a sheep that gets him too, so he's really not up there yet. But he needs food as well, and doesn't really have an easy access to it. And that means he's not going to be able to do the things he wants to do, which is always the case. You don't have enough people. Well, I've got enough people to do things. Food may not be the most important thing for me to do, though, with all these people. If I could build another hut space, good stuff would happen. If I could renovate, that doesn't do me much. And I've got the wood hut builder, which gives me victory points as if I'm in a clay hut, which is kind of nice. Of course, that allows me to ignore clay. Capability to cook animals. Grabbing a bunch of sheep might be useful. At least I won't lose points for lack of sheep. Yeah, that may be... Now, see, he's not going to grab sheep. He's probably not going to grab sheep. So again, that's something that maybe I can hold off on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plow a field, because I'm seeing the amount of field that I have, and wow, I should have left this column open. That would work as well as this did, but I did it in the wrong direction. Oops. But by plowing a field, I'm covering more land. That's good. Fields is important for victory conditions. Once you get up to 5, you get full points. But also, I have other capabilities that are going to let me grow things. So I think I'm going to be doing a big sowing very shortly. I don't know when. Might be this turn because I have so many people. On to him. This guy thought food was the most important thing, so he went fishing. Got himself enough food to make it through. Plowing fields might have been important. But yeah, right now, and I sure didn't need the stables. I already passed on them. I might be doing a minor improvement. I can do that with family growth, which I probably should have done instead. Oops. Okay. Although I don't think anyone's in a position to grow their family, because remember, these guys need to build a house first, and they didn't do that either. Everybody else needs to build a house, so I'm the only one in position to do that, so that's fine. And he did his occupation marker to put the scholar down so that he can keep putting out the rest of his occupations if I remember to do that. Brings me back to the start. No. To the guy with far too many actions, gotta think. Not so much, I know a couple of things I want to do, and I actually could grab wood, but there's not enough out there, build a house, and procreate, all 3 of those things in a row. But I need food. One of the food is gone, and I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed, because the sycophant, no, not the sycophant. Never mind. Someone gets something from the traveling players, though. This guy gets something from it. He can play a food to get an occupation. Oh, shit. I probably wasted an action on this. Oh, well. I got improvements, too, so that's not that big a deal. Yeah, I thought this was pay a food to hit that space, which is the pay a food to take a grain, which he also has. But yeah, the food is definitely of some value. I don't know if there's anybody who's running out of food, but it could really, really hose me. And I look like I'm doing pretty well with 4 people, so I think I'm going to take that food now. Street musician out, which is even worse. These 2 kind of go together. Street musician and puppeteer. Traveling players gives him an occupation for a food. Oh, can I afford it? I can with my schnapps. Okay. And I also get grain off of that, which, again, I don't know if I need these things or not, but not playing cards seems stupid. I don't know, although it's so late. That puts me up. Green and blue each get 1, and then he gets 2 in a row. Green, they did family growth and built the tavern. The tavern's a place where somebody can play, including them, to get 2 food. No, 3 food. But this player can play on it to get 2 victory points, which I guess it doesn't say how they're marked. Marks them as this. There's nothing that looks like that. Closest is this. I guess putting some kind of marker on there to indicate, and food would work, to indicate the points that have been accumulated there. This guy's got heart problems. So doing the occupation was a mistake, because I could have played this when somebody went to traveling players. Now it's been filled. The resources I have no clay, which is okay. But I could get better food production with that. The slaughterhouse, again, allows me to produce food, but it's worth victory points, but I have no clay. Clay may be the thing that I grab. On the other hand, I don't have people either, and that's really fucking killing me. And there's 3 stone available to me if I go here. That also prevents me from having to grab the food that I need to. That 3 stone doesn't do it. Fuck that. So 3 stone would be fine, but I need 2 reeds to expand my housing, and I don't have 2 reeds. And I don't see an easy way to get 2 reeds, except going here, which, doesn't balance out. So I need to urinate and figure out what the fuck to do, because I can't think hard enough when I have to pee at all. I took care of my bodily functions, grabbed a different cup of tea. I got tea boiling that I got to deal with before and that means a little bit of a break. But I thought of something while the stream was exiting my body, which was, I think actually my wife brought this up long ago, that these games feel more like a big chicken, fox, and grain problem. The farmer has to transport, only has room for 2 things in his canoe at each time, where you have this limiting of choices that you can actually accomplish, but you have to do things in certain orders to make them work at all and everything. And, that's a cute little puzzle and everything to teach you a certain kind of thinking. But man, it's not a fun thing to just keep doing. That's the core mechanism and in many of these worker placement type games. And this one definitely, oh, I gotta plow my field, and then I need vegetables, and then I need to plant and bake bread, but I can't bake bread until I harvest my vegetables, and that all comes off the same card. And it's just that kind of work. That's where the optimization is, as opposed to opportunistic optimization that I feel happens more in games like Ra, right, or UP or stuff like that, where it's just so obvious what you want. You look and you're like, well, okay, I might change my decision as to what I want, but there's just a pile of stuff out there. I want to grab it. It's worth something. Here, the stuff you can grab piles of isn't worth shit. But it's necessary to work your way through and get your engine going to make stuff start generating points for you in any sort of sense of the game. I much prefer something that has a sort of a linear value. So like 18xx games, yes, you need money to make money, and you build a little engine. You build lots of little engines, and then they rust. You build a little engine to make your railroad keep making you money, and your shares are producing money, and that money lets you buy more shares, and it's a snowballing type effect, where everything's kind of simple. Here, I'm constantly faced with an ever-increasingly difficult puzzle growing out. I don't like puzzles. I really don't like puzzles. I don't mind synergies and interactions and stuff, and seeing where something which is okay on its own becomes really, really potent, which is what I was kind of hoping these cards were. Instead, they seem to be something that's really shitty in general that might be worth playing a couple of them if you have a synergy, and there might be 1 or 2 that are good enough on their own at a particular time when you don't have a better option out there or something. But they're really not, I think, meant to define your strategy in a game. I feel like if you try to do that. Try to put together a synergy that will define a strategy. You will end up at a worse strategy than sort of the core strategy. The only question is whether picking some of them up is worth more than the garbage that you've been left behind with your selection choices. To the topical analysis of the game, which is laughable, I know, but you know, again, somebody said they find that it all fits together so nicely. Look, only one person being able to plow any fields, there's no resource constraint there. Similarly with things like fences and stuff, there's an artificial resource constraint being put in by these actions. Yeah, I gotta reload that damn thing. There it goes, it's back on. My fucking battery. And yeah, I was using it upside down. That worked a little bit for a while. Now it doesn't work either way, which is how it used to be. It just doesn't hold in place. So yeah, this guy has a real problem. What the fuck does he want to do? How does he want to make his life the best? He can't plow the field, which, you know, maybe was what he wanted to do. Doesn't have enough wood for fences, which he really kind of needs because he needs to catch up on animal points, as well as using up some of his territory. Doesn't have the stone or the reed for, you know, there we go again. For his, to build a house. Doesn't have any way to get these things, you know, you can get the stone, but you'd have to get the reed too, and then the fox is going to eat the chicken, and the farmer is going to jerk off into the grain or something. Yeah, there's just nothing that really... There's no good move, you know, there's no move that works, is basically what I'm looking at. And so now I delve into these, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing for here either. Slaughterhouse could get me some more food. I'm not really in a problem with food. I can live with it. The shepherd's pie. I mean, I could build a tiny little pasture. But those are, you know, I've got enough time to fill in a good one, and I want to take spaces, and I want to make my wood plays as good as possible. And it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wood to build a 2-space pasture, which is a pretty decent size. You throw a stable in it and good stuff happens. So what do? Well, wood is going to be more available later. Reeds might be more available later. Or I could get the one that I need, because I don't really need the multiple reeds. So I think I'm going to go with what I was going to go with before, which is the 2 food and the 3 stone, because that 3 stone does what I needed to. The only other question was, well, do I need clay? And the answer is kind of no. This might be useful. I don't know. Way to make my reeds work if I end up collecting a big pile of them. All right. 2 more actions over here, and then I slit my wrists. Now this guy has so many different possibilities with two actions left and a bunch of cards because he grew a bunch of new ones. Unfortunately, the lettuce patch is not one of them. Take this back. I was going to play it. Lettuce patch requires 3 occupations, so I would have to have those in play. I've got vegetables growing. I can grow more vegetables there. I can always play this later. So I think what I'm going to want to do is get the acreage out with the first one. And that's a minor improvement. One of the minor improvements is here. One of them's here. If I wanted to renovate, I don't because I have the wooden hut builder. So I will grab starting player and drop the acreage. I would much rather put one of these things that has a victory point on it, but now I'm going to sow. And that is going to allow me to put 2 grain on this card, which each get 2 grain. And we're running out of battery on this one, which is why it's important that that one gets done. And put the vegetable over on this one, which gets 2 more vegetable. And, you know, we'll see what I need to do. The other option that I would have considered is to get some wood. But there's not enough wood out there. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could build one more fenced-in section. So that would be useful to me too, because once I get that, I can finally use this tenant farmer that I was making fun of as horrible. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. One of each type of animal, none of them are going to reproduce then. Yeah, that's not terribly helpful. At least I can avoid the penalty, though, if that's the case, and I've already got one nasty penalty. That means it's time to clear the spaces, switch batteries, and do the harvest. If I was playing with 2 players, these affect just the starting ones. If I was playing, well, there's no 2-player, but if I was playing with less players, there would still be 1 family growth in play. If I was playing with more players, there would still be 1 family growth in play. So it's kind of actually not that odd that I'm struggling to get the actions in play. The more players you have, the more competition for these actions. These, maybe there's better stuff out there. Maybe the 5th player adds another thing. I don't know. But it'd be interesting to take a peek at them. Yeah, this gives more options. Wow, oh, this is the family game. Never mind. But more options. This is pretty nice. More options, really. More resources. Yep, family game stuff. Yeah, more. Still same stuff. Occupation, another family growth. Okay. Yeah. Another option for traveling players. Wow. And this is the 3-player stuff, which would, you know, reduce the options you have available. So there's a little bit more play in there, but 4 players may be the worst for growing the family. Anyway, for the harvest, we pull from the fields. No fields. That can't be good. So this guy's doing the best. No question. Biggest family. Yeah, he's starting to build his animals. Feeding. 2 food per family member. Do I want to create a pile of food? Not really. No. 4 food. I can't bake bread at this point, so nothing. 8 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we got to cook something. No, I can't cook grain, which means I'm stuck with a vegetable, which uses 3 food, so I get 2 back. Or produces 3 food, so I get 2 back. Okay. And then over here, he needs 6 food. Do I have the guy who allows me to mix animals? I think so, yeah. So I don't think I want to kill me a sheep yet, since I have tons of food. And that moves the die up here, and we plug this in, and we're done for now. Push it a little bit further now. First, let's hand out the goodies for this turn. The food definitely goes there. The wood goes to the guy with the lumber forest. That. But where does the grain go? I think it's this guy. And again, as we could see, there were like 2 foods, so it's possible this could be difficult to tell. And probably not impossible to figure out from the context of the cards, but still difficult. And we get another family growth, but this one's special. If you grab that one, you didn't have to build your house more. Now, housing spots are worth victory points, and they take away negative spaces that count against you. So, you know, well, wooden houses aren't worth anything for the most part. Clay are worth 1 per space. Stone are worth 2 per space. But additional people are worth 3. So, plus, it gives you the capability to play 2 pieces in the next couple rounds. But it's so late in the game that, you know, you're not going to see a whole hell of a lot of advantage coming from that. Time to lay down garbage and continue with this garbage. We're in a rough position. This guy going first. Lots of placements. There's a lot of wood on the board. I want to build another house, have a couple more babies, whatever. You know, all I can have is 1. The twins aren't going to help me anymore. I've turned cards upside down that have no effect any longer. That helps me process, I guess. I'll have to spread them out for points at some point, but so maybe the wood is not that big a deal. Other things I was looking at are occupation or a minor improvement, because a minor improvement could let me put the lettuce patch out, which would get me a couple, if I do it right, a couple more productions of vegetables. I'm not gonna be up by 4 vegetables if I don't get some in play. Although ones in the field count towards victory points. So I've got a little bit more time on that. But the thing I'm most worried about is animals. There are more sheep than there are boars, so you might say, well, why didn't you take sheep? Well, I don't have a whole lot of space, and points for boars are a little better. Who took the cattle? Oh, he did. So I think I'm just going to take, I'm going to take the wild boars, and I'll put them in like that. It has this really, really sweet riding plow, which would allow me to plow 3 fields twice, and that would fill up a lot of space. The problem with it is I need to get 2 more occupations for that to work. This is somebody who needs that kind of spread, you know. So I don't think I can go along that route. This is worth points. So for one thing, I can throw somebody in here and grab 2 victory points. That's pretty cool. But I've got the metal. This is worth victory points if I have vegetable patches. Well, or vegetable fields. I don't. 2 improvement, 3 occupations. Again, I didn't get enough occupations out into play. I'm making a mess here. Clay roof is worth a victory point. I could just put this down, but is that worth it? So I would like to take a vegetable. I would like a lot of things. The animals aren't such a great buy for me, because the only thing really available in quantity is the sheep. So I think I'm going to try to aim for this, unless I've got something better kicking around. I don't know. So what was this? I need a vegetable. I don't want to do the vegetable yet. But here's the problem. If I spend the vegetable, I'm not getting a very good return on my points, right? I want the vegetable and I want to farm it. Maybe I can spend it later after I get some draws. Now, this is where you could definitely do some point optimizations. A bunch of wood would let me fence in everything, you know? That would be kind of cool. Clay, my house needs clay. Clay could get me pottery. There's a whole bunch of clay out there. I think we're just going to grab all of that, even though it's not victory points directly. It would be with this. So this only requires 2 metal, so it may be better than my schnapps thing. I think my schnapps thing is a bad deal. Other 2 reeds, so that I can extend my stone houses, maybe get more people, whatever. Over here, purple sowed, and that'll get me, you know, some more production. Almost as important, I was able to bake bread, which got me enough food for the people I have, because I got a bit of a problem. I don't have an easy way to convert stuff into food. My other thought had been try to build rooms and stables. I could add 1 more wooden room, but I'm lacking the reeds for that, and Blue stole the reeds, and I'm screwed. Unless I had, you know, something like the clay roof or something to put in play. Back over to the front. Resource picks. Wood, expand his house. Stone, his plan is to upgrade his house. Renovation comes with an improvement that actually doesn't do me what I need. I need more stone than that if I'm going to do the pottery. So, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I want to buy the pottery. It's worth almost as much as the stone buildings. And for each clay I have 6 of them. That gives me 5 clay. That's worth 2 more points. So it's a better point allocation. I mean, it's what I intended to do before. It's just I got confused and thought, oh, lots of buildings. Of course, expanding my house is too expensive. Expanded a stone house. That was the plan. I'm not sure I like it. But with it, I built a couple of stables. I don't have enough wood to build myself the amount of fencing that I would like. But I could create a fence around one of these and hold 4 in it. Or something. I don't know. It's tight. Over here, he played the family growth space to get himself another human, because hey, if I got the one without expansion, why not? You know, why hadn't anybody taken this yet? Built a bunch of fences. Green, just torn as to what to do anywhere. Ended up grabbing something. I did something, yep, something. What was that something? I grabbed the stone, because I have the capability. I have the clay roof in here, which is worth a victory point. I can actually play this one. I don't know what it costs. Nothing good. And I can use that in conjunction with my 1 reed to upgrade to stone if need be. I could also use it to build my house, but then that makes the pottery a more iffy proposition. A tough call. A bunch more wood would let me maybe build a house. Maybe. You know, it's a rush. There's only 1 space available for it. That makes sense. It's hard to find builders these days. But I think more important, and again, without crunching numbers, because I don't want to do that. That's no fun. You know, I mean, for After the Holocaust, which is a spreadsheet game, that's fine. This is not. This is a game with little wooden pieces and little animals, maybe, and whatever. It shouldn't be like that. Anyway, I'll grab the sheep because I don't have sheep at all. I'm getting a penalty for them. And by grabbing this amount, I'll be able to grow to the maximum. I have a hearth, so I can cook some stuff, so I'm okay on food, I think. We assume. We're a little worried overall. And then the players go back where they belong, I think. Make sure I got everybody. I won't think about that too much. Pretty sure, yeah, he did the family growth in the space where it's good. And blue is still down to 2 people, unable to get a family growth out. And that means we go to the next round, which is a couple of food. Where do they go? I think they both go here, or no, here, somewhere. Well and carp pond. Okay. And we draw the last card, which of this arrow, which again, we know what it is. It's an extra plow and sow. That's a nice card. Quite often, you know, you're sitting in a position like this where you want to plow the field and drop goods in that, and you may have other fields to do. So that's much, much more useful than this. And we still have initiative over here. The Ice Age is getting worse. Next turn, there's only the briefest of summer at all. However you want to look at that. And worse than that, which isn't always the case, the big feeding pools are gone. Now, they may be up 1 more if nobody takes them because they need it for this harvest, which is likely. But, you know, there's nothing to really to fall back on. So if you don't have a feeding engine, you got problems. Who doesn't have a feed engine? Well, he doesn't, but he baked his bread already. I think everybody else has a means of making food. But that can screw with your points, right? Because the things you feed to your people are the things that are worth points. The things that last, stuff like cut stone, maybe preserved food, I don't know. But lumber stockpiles, bricks, all that stuff's worthless. That stuff, you couldn't possibly sell that stuff unless you happen to own, you know, the pottery mill or whatever. Yeah. I'm never really thrilled with these, hey, pick something, get something type games anyway, and the worker placement usually are that kind of thing, and the growth and everything. It just doesn't really make sense to me that, like, there's a pile of clay waiting and somebody just picks it up. That's not how work works, you know? But there's a lot of that's not how anything works in this game. Anyhow, this guy's got hard questions in his mind. He's got enough food available, more or less. Not really enough room for the sheep. He's got room to put 1 in, so that'll probably be cookable or whatever. So grabbing food resources is not on the top of my mind, but what is? Yeah, wrongful thinking in there. So the clay roof, I need minor improvement, great. In order to get away with the renovation. And there's only 1 renovation on the board, I think. So there's no other thing that allows me to move up to the stone. I don't have the resources for the stone. I would have to do an improvement first. That could make me starting player for the final round. Or I could just grow another person. How's my food situation? Not great. I got the joinery. That gets me 2. The pottery could get me 2. And killing a sheep can get me 2. That's 6. That's enough for the people I have. But if I grow another person, I have to pay 1 more because this is in the round just before the harvest. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing there. Did I say what I did here? My choice there was to grab piles of wood. Lots and lots of wood. Because I need wood to either build houses or build fencing or whatever. For him, the thing that he would really like most maybe is probably the cattle. But that gives up a lot of other options. But I'm just going to go with that because I think I like that best. Now I'm allowed to move my sheep into a different pasture and throw my cattle in there right away. And I just don't want to think too much. I mean, there may be some way of stacking things where grabbing the clay is more valuable or something like that. I don't know. I want the cattle. Because I didn't plan everything meticulously several turns in advance, Blue's got a problem. I'd like to grow my family. Seems reasonable. I could take this family growth and deny it to other people, which I think is what I'm going to do, because the after family growth 1 minor improvement has an issue. Of course, I'm the only person with room, so I can hold off on this. Maybe. The problem is there is no minor improvement that I can build with the stuff that I have that's worth anything. I can build a fish trap. That's useless. This doesn't count. Simple fireplace takes a brick. This takes a sheep and I don't want it. It doesn't give me anything. Scarecrow takes 2 empty fields and I don't want it. It doesn't give me anything. Slaughterhouse would be great, but I can't get 2 clay and 2 stone at the same time. I don't know what I'm going to do with piles and piles of clay, though. And all of this guy's things are gone, so he's useless. I think I'll just be a dick and take that. Blows. Again, that's just the feeling I get at the end of it. This kind of blows. I can't do the stuff that I was kind of aiming at. And now I'm sure of it because the end is nigh. So what I was aiming at was being able to build a house, maybe throw a stable down. But there aren't enough reeds. There's only 1 here. I could get 1 up there. I got enough people I could actually do both, but I got nothing that's going to let me do this. I got something interesting here. I've got like an improvement. Oh, is there a ton of stone laying around? I've got the stable here that I could build and pass that along. That's a pretty shitty action. It gets me 1 point. Much as I want a stable, but I've got the sleeping corner, which I can't play because I don't have enough grain fields and I don't have any grain in reserve or anything. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I have a minor improvement. There are things that allow you to do something plus a minor improvement, like I could do a family growth, but I can't. I could do a renovation, but I can't. I don't have the stuff. So, I feel like my best option at this point is not a good one. It's actually to build a bunch of fences. So let's see, 6 fences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it wouldn't do there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll get me a couple more points. And in terms of pasture, what will I have? Well, I'm well above what I need for pasture. The problem is, you know, that clears 2 more, that gets rid of two negative spaces. I think I can do better than that somehow. I could get fields, get my fields up. That would get me probably about the same points. I don't want to fuck around with trying to figure. So yeah, I just don't fucking know. So I'll go back to thinking and trying to figure out if there's anything I can do. I mean, there's shit I can do, but is there anything I want to do, right? Example again, I thought about, oh, I could grab clay, then I could upgrade my house. But no, I still need a fucking, I only need 1 reed then, but it's a lot of effort for a couple of points. So far, the best that I'm seeing actually looks like it's that paved road, because 5 stone, well, I can't get that right away, right? I can get 3 stone right now, and then I can get a couple stone later off of like this, and then I can play the paved road, and that's 3 plays for 4 points. That's not too bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna fucking grab that stone. I can't keep puzzling this shit out. I mean, it's just no fun. It's no fun. I don't mind a little bit of thinking of that kind of nature, where you have to pre-plan shit all you know, to details. I don't mind if it's to my next play or whatever. I don't want it to be several turns in advance and try to figure out how I can make it to here and whatever. I just don't. I don't want that. It sucks. The feeling that this should be sort of the denouement of the game, right? You know, maybe there's a couple of people in competition, but they shouldn't have to work their asses off to get it, you know? Not at this point. Yeah, I mean, if you think about, you know, almost any game that's fun, in my view, you know, like bridge. The important plays are early on, how you can force the cards out and whatever. The end, it's usually pretty much just known. You know, if you look at most war games, you're playing out the end just because it's sort of a relaxing kind of way to finish the game. I don't know. Accelerating the amount of thinking, and maybe it's not, because, you know, if you're playing at a much higher level than I am, from here maybe you know all your moves, you know, with a few contingency plans in play at that point. But I'm at the point where I can just barely calculate all this shit, and I know I can, and that's why it completely fucking makes me want to freeze and spend all my time calculating out the exact best move. And boy, do I hate doing that. I really fucking hate it, and I feel compelled to do it. This guy, now he knows what he wants to do. He's going to build rooms, build stables. Now, it's not necessarily the best thing for him to do, because he could look and say, nobody else can do this except to build stables. And how likely are they to do that? I don't know. Nobody looks like they're really cramming their animals, except maybe this guy. He's going to lose an animal because he was kind of planning on it. So it's not that bad. But doing it at this point means that it's time for me to calculate what the fuck I can do with the rest of my board, right? Each stable's worth 1. Do I have any goddamn use for wood? I have a corpse. Okay. I don't think I have any use for wood in this game, because I'm not going to be able to build another house space, I think. Which means there are only 4 stables, so that's the most I can build. And I guess I'm going to build them all. Am I going to plow another field? I don't know. Maybe. I can't tell you the answer to that. You know, I would love to. So I'll just put my stables like this. I'm probably not going to do more than plow 1 more field. And I figure I'm winning the game anyway at this point. So what the hell? Just don't want to think. Starting player and a minor improvement, put the clay roof in play. Wanted to expand the house and do the minor improvement. I couldn't do it in that order. I'll grab the starting player one. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to build that extra building at this point, or there was something else that was kicking around in my head and I don't remember what it was. I've already forgotten it, so you know, whatever. I have all this stone that I think I picked up. I probably had a reason for that. I don't remember. You know, it all just goes away, man. It all goes away. Oh yeah, that's a renovation. Okay, fuck starting player. That was the plan. We were going to do a renovation of 3 stone and this, and the improvement. And we go up to stone buildings. Gotcha. Really need the clay roof. It was a victory point. And this is how my mind works. I'm like, oh, wait, fuck, wait. Do I want, you know, is this? Yeah, I guess not. Okay, you know, that's really how I start to think is, shit, I had to make a decision. I fucked up. Hold on, let me roll it back. And this is how my life is too, right? This is why I don't like making decisions. Life is like this game in the sense of like, oh look, all kind of shit that you could probably spend a lot of effort calculating out and figuring out what your best moves are. And you really can, you know, how much do I want to invest? How can I avoid my tax rates and stuff like this? You could do all that shit. But you have to make decisions involved in it. And you're either making decisions with too little information, or you're ruining your life trying to wait to make the decision until you have enough information. And you're frozen trying to make the decision. No wonder I hate the game. I hate life. Part of me is at the, I'm fucked if I don't do something with blue. I have to take the day labor, so I get the 3 stone. I don't remember why I need it. Oh, I need it for this. Which doesn't really help me, but it's 2 victory points, right? That's why I need it. I also could use the extra food. I'm a little worried. Because again, I feel the Ice Age coming, you know? But do I have anything else that would be better? So this is clay and stone, and is worth the same amount. Might help me. This is clay. This is something I would like to play because it would give me something. But it's probably too late for it to matter. When you acquire the Basket Maker's Workshop, you get 3 reeds. Yeah, that would be useful, I guess, but I don't know. If I don't do the day labor, I'm going to fuck myself. But nobody else is going to fucking take it. So what else do I have to do? Right now, I have 4 vegetables. 4 vegetables is what I need. which means if I grab this space before anybody else takes it, something good happens. I get to plow a field, which eats up one of my empty spaces, which is good in and of itself, and I can plant some grain, and that increases my grain holdings. I'm still screwed on animals, but whatever. And that moves me back over here. Now, does this make sense? The purple hasn't played? No, they were overcrowded. Okay. Just in a shitty position. He could build himself another 1, 2, 3, 4 pasture. And that would get him a couple points back. Get rid of that wood. How important is that right now? I don't know. I really don't know. Plowing a field. So this would give me 2 points. Plowing a field would get me 1 point for that and a point for the field. So that's better, I think. For one thing, it doesn't use up any resources that I might need. What I was planning on doing is building that big road. That's worth a lot of points. But I can't do that yet. What I have to do, I have to go through every fucking option. I could grab a bunch of clay. What could I do with a bunch of clay? Well, there's points kicking around for people with clay. And that is of interest, especially since I don't have the food. Now, those fences or plowing the field probably is, I don't know, because now there's this, so this becomes less likely to be taken, so I can probably take it at another time, and who knows. A bunch of clay would allow me to buy this, or this. Either of which are of some value. There's a bunch of clay available. There's somebody who has a pottery who might just grab that clay. Probably doesn't need it. A bunch of clay could help me upgrade my house, maybe. But if I'm going for upgrading my house, do I want reed instead? I don't know. I don't know whether to grab the clay or do something else. I'll grab the fucking clay. Because I can't make my mind up. Of course, maybe I have something that allows me to do something that's different. And I can't remember any of that something because what I'm interested in here is, one of the roofs maybe, or something like that. That if I played that out, that would work better. But I don't see one. And that puts me back over here. And again, I have to go through this whole fucking sequence with each turn, each player. And yeah, it's easier to play it when you're not playing all 4 players at this kind of level of decision making. But it's just, it kind of balances out, which is to say, that I would rather do something like this solo and experience the frustration. And I kind of enjoy doing it on camera because I'm able to express just how clearly this is fucking inane, how fucking miserable playing something like this is. Whereas, I don't know, sometimes that's amusing when you're playing with someone, but sometimes it's just a tantrum and it's no fun. I figure you can scroll through it if you don't like it, or skip through it if you don't like it, or turn it off or whatever. Some people get a kick out of it, and I kind of get my own kick out of being this fucking miserable. I kind of got that kick out of working in cubicle land at times, because I would just start cursing. That would kind of give me a certain kind of pleasure. I have that vegetable patch here. I can't play that, so that's fine, whatever. I think my best move is actually this. Sow and or bake bread. I'm going to sow the vegetable because I have enough grain even if I bake bread, I think. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1 for baking bread. Yeah, so I will sow here. And now I have enough vegetables to put me at the top of the list. And I will bake bread and get myself 3 food. I'm a little worried about my food output. Again, the game gets awfully tight at the end when there's no more spring or anything. I'm kind of damned if I can remember what this guy wants to do. I think it's this. I think he wants to go there and get himself 2 victory points. I hope I have enough food. But I'm not even willing to count that anymore. Seriously. Why I needed it, but I know he needed this. I almost did something else because that's the way my life works. If I can no longer keep everything in memory. But yeah, I have no idea what oh, it's for that. Gotcha. And that's all I get there. Keep going down. Boy, is this painful. What I got with this person is they had the maid. I could get some extra food at a number of points if I had upgraded to clay. Now, I don't think I had that clay. I think I picked it up just now. And but I think my intention with that clay was to do a major or minor improvement, which I look around, and there is one left up here. And which do I want? 2, 3, 4, 5. I might as well take the more expensive one. You have the choice of either discarding a fireplace or getting it, or paying for it. So I will pay for that way. And that gives me some capability to convert animals into food in a way that will help me greatly. Last one, I think my intention was a family growth, building myself this corpse. I don't care about growing wood on it. That's not terribly useful to me. But I get the family improvement, which gets me another person. It's another mouth to feed, but that's okay. It'll give me something. Everything clears back, then we go to the harvest, and oh boy. Fun part of the game, the mechanical actions, and it honestly is the best part of it. I get to pull some food. None there. Hope I have food for him. Grain and vegetable feeding. Okay. Over here, I have 4. That's going to cost me 8 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to come up with 2 more food. What else can get me food? Schnapps. And I think that's it. Schnapps. So I have to burn one of these, which I would rather not have done, because that's pulling me from 4 down to 3 in the vegetables. So I lose a victory point for that. That's life. So that's 5 food and 3 more. You know, would there have been another way of doing things? I don't know. I would have had to go for clay and get an oven and all kind of shit like that. It would have been painful. I don't have animals. That's the big problem. The schnapps is the best I can do. What about him? He has only 6 food that he has to spend. 2, 4, 5. I got to find another food. Lucky for me, I built this cooking hearth. So I'm going to cook me a sheep, and that leaves me with 1 food going into the Ice Age. Over here, I have the need for oh shit. Who the hell grew people? You know, I know he grew up people, but somebody else grew up people. And I may not have needed to compact food somewhere. Who did the family growth without space? It may have been him. I don't know. And that's why you shouldn't remove these, even though the rules tell you to, until after you do the harvest. Because it is actually really important. But then again, you can't count your people if they're spread all over the fucking creation. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so what I need here is 8 and 9. I have 3, 4, 5. That means I need 4 more food. Where do I get food from? Well, I could cook vegetables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can afford to cook a vegetable. That gets me 3 more food. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still not enough. And I think I have to cook the vegetable because other than that, I am going to cook me a sheep, which gets me 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a food left, and I lose this shit. Okay, maybe the mechanical part's not so fun right now. I don't know who played the freebie person. Here's the thing. I think it was someone who had a space and didn't need to play it. And this guy are full up. This guy played the normal family growth space, which means it had to be him. So he's at 2, 4, 5 food. I've got 2. Shit. Could have gotten food from that. Pottery. I need to have 3, 5, 7. 3, 4, 5. Let's spend one of these. So that gets me to 4. I'm still a food short, which means I'll eat a sheep. And that gets me 2 food back. I was 1 short, so that goes there. Okay, we've eaten our food. Okay, now the animals breed. Nice collection of animals happening here. Put a sheep in the home for comfort. Get a sheep and a piggy. These actually can hold 4 each, so, and plus I have this access. I have tons of capability, and he gets a sheep and a cow, and again, too much capability. But the nice thing is I built lots of pasture, which is not going to penalize me as much, and it gets me some good stuff. And I had thoughts that I would finish this game up tonight, but now I do not have those thoughts. The very last turn, and the years have shortened to just 1 season, I guess. I don't know. Not that you have to follow the seasons. In fact, quite the opposite. If somebody is plowing their fields, you can't be. Well, now you can, but the new card is a renovation, which is, you know, a big boost in points type of thing. You can turn your wooden house into clay. You have to go through the steps, I think. It doesn't spell it out here, but I think that's in the rules. With the bonus of being able to build fences, which means if you have a nice stockpile of material, you can upgrade your house and you could fence in a lot of your territory. By the way, I was wrong. It's not fields that you get points for. Well, it is fields. It's not spaces that are surrounded. It's each pasture. So this is 3 different pastures, right? This is 2. But by covering a lot of them, you take away a lot of the minus points. So it kind of evens out that way. At least I think that's what it is. I read something online because I was looking at the comments. First of all, you know, page after page after page of 10s, which is to say, this is people's very favorite game. And I'm kind of like, Jesus, man. No wonder I don't play with the Eurogamers. No wonder. I mean, there are some reasonably decent Euros out there that I get some enjoyment out of. But man, pastures for fenced areas, not for the spaces that are fenced in. Yeah, that's specified there. I think I did that right when I played it last time. I don't know. I can see. Pastures. Nah, I don't think so because this guy's got 5 of them. That seems unlikely. No, he got 5 points. Well, you can't get 5 points. That's weird. How did he get 5 points? I have no idea. I can't even read my shit. I think that's pastures and not like poot. Yeah, I don't know what gave him 5. There may have been a card that modified things, but doesn't sound right. But yeah, 5 spaces wouldn't give 5 points unless I was completely not understanding something, so who the hell knows? Anyway, I'm on this shit and trying to delay getting to the actual play of the game. I mean, when I start meandering too much, it might be a sign that I'm not enjoying this. Number 1, as we come to the year with no summer and the ice age is here, food. All but this guy are coming in with just 1 food in hand. And I'm looking here, and you know, I can kill a boar and a sheep, although that affects my victory points. And that'll get me like 5 food. That gets me to 6. I need 10 for this guy. And there's no big hordes of food kicking around. So it's gonna be tough. I may have to cook some vegetables. I may have to do some other things, which means preserving my food supply may just be the best I can do. On the other hand, well, I can only kill 1 of each, right? No, that's at any time. So grabbing a horde of animals or something might be a good way to optimize my points, which is of course the goal of the game, is optimizing your points, not, you know, not building a successful and sustainable farm or anything. So by optimizing points, what I have to do is compare each of my actions to what its cost is going to be, and I've got to figure out how much food I'm going to need. You know, we know that. How much it's going to cost me for each different possible way of producing that food, and then comparing those results to every possible thing that could gain me points instead. So, you know, if I can prevent losing, let's say I grab those boars, well, it takes 7 boars to get to 4 points. I can hold 8 here. I could go up to 6, and that means I could lose 1 boar without losing any points, and it's like, fuck it, man. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to grab the piggies. Because counting the points is obscene. It just is. It's like, I don't feel like I'm farming. I feel like I'm doing my taxes after my multi-million-dollar farm and stock investments. I mean, it's not even that much fun. It is less fun than doing taxes. See my 1044 video to see how much fun taxes can be. Thinking and planning, fuck it all. I just want to get it over with. All right, so red grabbed the piggies. Green plowed a field, dropped some vegetables in it. Why? Well, because I had I have very little grain. I could have baked bread with it. I can cook some animals or something. I can go to the tavern and eat if I need to, instead of grabbing my 2 points for that. I've got the pottery and the joinery that I can convert one, and maybe I should have done this before if I didn't do it yet. If I didn't do it, but who knows? 1 wood and 1 grain. You're only allowed 1 of these, right? Yeah, in each case. And then there's also the, okay, I want 5 wood. I don't have that, so I can afford to give up a wood without any penalty. Same thing with clay. I have 5. That would have gotten me more points. But if I need clay, if I need to eat, I need to eat. You know, it's just the way things are. But then I have to make the decisions of, you know, looking on the card, looking on this card, figure out which one costs me more to feed myself with. Do I want to eat clay or do I want to eat animal? Over here to blue, I knew I wanted this. There's only 1 space on the board that could take it. Somebody else might have done a major improvement. So I threw this sucker down. I'm not sure, you know, it's the one person not worrying about food at all, even though he doesn't have that much. And then over here, I played a stone, the stone thing, so that I can build that paved road. That's worth a lot of points. I'm lucky I remembered that. Normally, that wouldn't be the case. I mean, I have to, you know, I just came back after a night's sleep, basically. And how am I going to remember the damn cards? But, you know, I'm just tired of putting the effort in. But that guy at least checked his cards. Other people, I don't think I had any clear plan of the same nature. But they may have some sort of, hey, maybe I can balance things and make things work a little better. Did a sew and bake bread here because the extra food's probably really important. Now, part of me wants to plow the field first, but it's like I can't take the chance that somebody else is going to do the baked bread. I don't think there's anything else that allows bread to be baked except this space. And it's like, yeah, I kind of want to squeeze out that extra cup of food. So, yeah. Over here, did a wood collection because I could fence in a bunch of territory or throw some stables down or something, and that'd be cool. And then I got over here and remembered, hey, doesn't he have something that lets him play occupations or something? And yes, he does. He had this, because he has a stone house, and this is why he set it all up. Beginning of the round, I could either have paid a food, and I haven't gained any food, to get an occupation, or play an improvement card by paying its costs. So I didn't have to do that. I'm going to look and see if there's something else I wanted to do out of the cards that I could have afforded. Otherwise, I think I'm going to take 2 actions in a row and not use that one up. I don't think anybody really wanted that one yet. Well, misstep, I am cheating and giving him his piece back and letting him play 2. But I don't know whether or not I screwed him out a turn ago either. You know, when you have this kind of tableau of cards, even playing just, you know, 1 power, 1 player, it's hard to keep track of all that shit. I know, and even when I'm not walking away from the table, I know when I play Age of Renaissance, when it gets towards the end of the game, I can't keep track of all the advantages I have anymore, you know. And it's a reason not to go for cards, and given that in general, they don't seem terribly powerful, maybe that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to optimize his double turn at this point and try to figure out what the fuck to do. Put in a whole bunch of fences. You wouldn't normally be able to guarantee that kind of play. So like I could have taken all that wood and then there would be no fence play to take afterwards or whatever. So there was something of an advantage to getting that double move, but there was also something of a disadvantage in that other people got to grab things that maybe helped more. I just can't give a shit. I grabbed reeds, his hope being that he can do a renovation, and I don't know, maybe a fences. I got a lot of wood there. Or I could build another building, but not going to have room for babies, and not going to have time to put a baby down. So, growing the wood house doesn't do me a lot of good, but building the fences would. Over here, I knew he needs to do the occupation. I don't want to take a chance that the 2 occupation spaces get eaten up. Since it's on my mind, fuck it, I take it. Had to pay a food for that. And that's worth a bunch of victory points for me. I would like to, the plowing field is more likely to be stolen, but there are maybe other options, like I could build a little fence over there or something. I don't know. I don't have much wood, so probably not. But again, this guy's got it in the bag as far as I can see. This guy, something somewhat similar. He has one more action left. Now, growing family, if you have space and the rules that allow you to do that, like, I don't know, there's this space, is worth 3 victory points. So that's pretty good. I might want to just fucking do that to get it out of my goddamn way. But there are other options. Now, I can't do the renovation fences combo with him because he's got stuff. Other options include grabbing me some sheep for food, grabbing me some wood, which I've got to eat and use points for. I don't know how many people I have anymore. It looks like 3, so yeah, I'd only be spending 6 food. But I have to spend 8 if I grow another person. Of course, that's worth 3 points, which feeding them may or may not be. It's hard to tell. It's like, you have to do all these computations to figure out whether or not any given move beats another one. This is akin to a really bad track configuration at the end of the game in an XX game, which is, of course, the part of the XX that you wish you didn't have to play. That's what this whole fucking game is, though. The game that you wish you didn't have to play. I really wish I hadn't bought this thing. I knew better. I knew what the designer was into and everything. And yeah. 2, 4, 5. I could get 2 sheep. That brings me from 5 to 7, which is a point. It's probably about what it's worth, is a point. What was it that was going to feed me? I could just grab 3 food, I don't think I want to create a baby because that's going to up my food costs. Sheep, those 2 sheep are 4 food, though. So they're a better deal than anything else. These are used once, but it might be worth me grabbing all that clay because that's 4 clay. That puts me to 9 clay, which says I would be getting an extra point. I don't know. I'm going to just take the sheep. They're the best food converters. I'm probably talking 1 or 2 points difference either way. But 1 or 2 points is a big deal. And it's hard for me. As much as I say, I don't fucking care. There's something in me that says, you must play the game well. You shouldn't be just leaning back and saying, screw it, I don't want to do the work. But I don't want to do the fucking work. It's not worth it. It's a goddamn game. Potential food problems. Now, I'm able to get 5 food, and that clears my problem. But that also eats up some victory points, so I don't know. If I could get both clay and stone, which would require both of my remaining people. Why did I buy that wood? I needed to do stuff. I could build a 3-point even. Is that 1 clay, 3 stone? Jesus. But I can't, I don't have room for the extra action. So that's not an option. I don't have enough clay or stone to do either of those. So what else helps me? Well, I could get me a moo cow. Or I could plant a field. I think the moo cow is, I could plow a field. I think the moo cow is my better option, but I don't know and don't really. It's just, it's such misery. Misery. I mean, I'm on this guy. Got to think about this guy now. Good at the beginning, it would be kind of like Space Corps. The first part of Space Corps is kind of fun. The second part still retains some fun value. I was actually really liked the first part of Space Corps. The second part kind of retains some of the fun value, but it's starting to get a little too much effort for it. And then at the end, it turns into not this bad, but pretty bad. And not, you know, no longer is the fun worth the effort you're putting into it. That game at least kind of fit into, like, yeah, it still had stupid action selection, I think. I don't mind that in a super, super abstract game like Puerto Rico. And this is super abstract too, but and Puerto Rico has the advantage that everybody else gets to do it too. So the only thing your action selection really does is makes you sort of the driving force in that market or whatever, which makes a lot more sense, you know, than like, haha, I took the plow a field, now you can't, which pisses me off to no end. But this one starts out as, you know, it's not that terrible, and then starts turning into, wow, okay, for something that has no fun value, this sure is a lot of work, and now it's just, what a fucking hideous, horrible game. How could anybody want to play this? It ain't my type of game, that's for sure. I mean, the only competition is really scarcity. And I don't know. Anyway, it looks like I've played 2 per, including up to the purple. No, there's 3 blue on the board, 3 green. Purple has to play 1. That was the renovation and fences action. I get 2 victory points for it. What would I have gotten for fields? I would get 2 victory points for fields, and people are more likely to do that. So I shouldn't have taken what I did. I took this shit. So my last turn was a mistake too, where I took the reed, because I don't want to do this. I want to just plow a field because it's cheaper, and la la la, and I'm done. And now I've got the people who are doing better and have too many actions available to them, who, wow, they're sure making my life even more miserable, even though they're doing the best. And usually it's kind of fun to play whoever's doing the best to see how well they can do whatever. Yeah, it's just more of this same old shit. To this asswipe, because I didn't want to renovate because of the fences, but instead of plowing a field, maybe I want to do something else. Yeah, just trying to help his ass. Maybe I want to build a house, because I got 5 of these. Oh, building a house isn't worth as much. No, fuck that. Never mind. I did the right thing. Had this somewhere in the field there, yeah. It would seem like expanding my house is a better thing, but it isn't. Okay, screw that. Now I'm trying to figure out him, and I had already tried to figure out him, but then I remembered, oh wait, there's something else that I could do that makes more sense, and it would earlier in the game, but it doesn't no more. Because this isn't a game about things making sense at one time in the game, reflecting what you actually want. You know, there's a fair number of these games that have sort of the intermediate steps towards victory. The things that you kind of need to do are still good things. And I mean, it sort of is here, like plowing the field is. But getting a lot of wood, getting a lot of resources, it isn't. Getting more wooden house isn't, except for this guy, because he has a card that allows it to be a better thing. It's like most games of this point salad nature give you points whatever you do. And then there's some big goal things that would be kind of like this, you know, that are worth a lot. This, figuring out how to not eat your stuff is the biggest thing. And the resources that you need that are actually semi-permanent, they don't matter. You know, it blows my mind. And even knowing the points, it doesn't matter in the end in terms of like, because I no longer care about the story. I no longer care about, you know, the game has trained me enough that that's not what's important. This is what's important, but this is beyond me to cope with. It's a fucking point salad. And it's a point salad that you vomited out already. This poor asshole. I've got a thing that's worth a victory point, which I could do with a minor improvement. I finally got my third occupation in play. Or I could grab some food. I don't actually know if I can do the major minor improvement. Yeah, there's one there. And there may be other places like after family growth, but I can't grow my family, you know. So again, what's the value? Where's the value? I can't build a house. I only have 2 people left. I would need to collect more wood than there is on the board, and reeds, which are there's one up there that I could get. So that's not an option. This is one victory point. This, I would need to get a bunch of metal, a bunch of stone. There isn't enough stone for me to get. He could get it, but I can't. So my 2 people aren't going to allow me to get this thing that's worth 3 victory points, which would have been really nice. So, beyond this, for which there's 1 space for, there's grabbing food. And that's like, there's 2 spaces that I could grab food for. One of them gives an advantage to him, but it's probably beyond his ability to use that. Well, he's got a guy left. I'm going to take the major or minor improvement and get the victory point, but I don't know if that's right or not. And then I'm going to swap batteries because I know that I'm running low on juice. Finally, for blue, I have enough knowledge that I wonder what I did. I think I took the cattle when I could have built the slaughterhouse if I did things right. Right? No, that's clay that it needs. Clay and stone, and I couldn't do both. Okay, I have a piece of knowledge that would be very useful. I'm pretty sure he's going to take a food, which means that my puppeteer would allow me to play the guild master, which I would want to play otherwise, because it's going to give me something. I don't know what. Maybe I don't need that something. It's going to give me 3 reeds, which is actually worth victory points to me. It's worth 1 victory point, and I can also convert one of them into 3 food. Odds, I take that gamble and or understand that he's likely to do that because he doesn't know what I've got hitting in there. But I'm not sure that he knows that. If I do that, then I can grab the finding food option or something else if there's anything that'll give me points. Now, the most points I can get is out of producing this, which is available to me, but that's going to throw me up to the needs 10 food instead of 8 food. And I think on this last turn, nobody's got stockpiles of food, so I'm just not going to go that way. So odds, I guess what he's up to. I do not, which means I will be playing... Yeah. I will be playing for an occupation, and here's what hurts on this. This one actually cost me 2 food, whereas the other one would have cost me 1. But I get a pile of reeds, which are hard to get because I have that. And that would have gotten me more food because if I had played here, I would have got the food for that, and then he does what he's going to do, but he's not going to give me an advantage now. There's no reason. Unless he has something that gives advantages, who knows? I don't think so. I'm just going to grab the 3 food. I think it's the best I can do. Not positive. Now I think all the pieces have been played, which means it's time to do the fun of the final harvest. Grabs me these. And we've seen all this shit before. Hey, you finally grew something, you stupid shit. Okay. Now it's time to feed my people. Yeah. I gotta pull them back. Nobody had babies, so that's fine. I'll be back. 8 here. I don't have 8. Well, 2 is the number of reeds I want, so that's 3. 8. End up with an extra food, worth nothing. Just like the stone that I have, you'd think stone would definitely be worth something. The wood, nope. No such thoughts. Wonder if I grabbed an animal and could have lassoed and gotten a better action. I don't know. Okay, what are we eating here? So we only need 6 food, which is good because we're fucked. We have nothing in our favor except for the cooking hearth. 6 food. Cowsies. A 3rd cow is not worth anything, but I'm going to grow one, so I'll go up to 4, which is worth a point. A 5th pig is worth something. Although I don't necessarily have a place to put a 5th pig. And sheep, I'm at 5, a 6th sheep would be worth something. I have no idea. So what do I need? I need 6 food. Sheep are worth 2 each. Well, I definitely want to eat a sheep. That's 2. 3. I don't think I want to eat vegetables, which means I need to eat 3 of something. Well, now wait a minute. Cattle cost 4. Okay, what if I don't do this? Where was this? I got no place to put this. I need to eat one of these. So that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. And maybe I cheat, maybe I don't. Nobody will know. You'll all know you're watching me. 6 food here. What's my excess? Well, first of all, I have 2, 4, 6 piggies. 6 piggies. One more piggy gets me another point. Do I have anything that lets me create food that isn't food? Do I have anything that lets me make food out of non-food? No. Okay. Like out of clay or something like that. Which means I got the choice between 4 sheep. This is what you do. And this kind of decision making should have been going on all along, where people are taking like a half hour to 40 minutes a turn to figure out what their best move is for each placement, whatever. Yeah. Because that's what it would take to play it right, for me at least. Okay, so a sheep, I can definitely get rid of a sheep. I'm at 3, 6. That gets me to 8 food. I'm still too short. So now the question is a vegetable, which is worth a point, or a cow, a piggy, which is worth a point, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. I'll cook a vegetable. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These go away. This is fun, isn't it? This is my idea of a rollicking good time in a game. 6 food here. I got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wood. 7 is all I need. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're not going to make it. Pottery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would rather not get rid of that. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sheep. 7 sheep. That would be a point. 3 cattle. That would be a point. Okay, so now I'm at 3. I need 3 more. I'm going to eat a moo cow because they're worth 3 all on their own. And they get me in the best place. And I didn't play here for either food or for victory points. Fucked. Definitely would have been a better move. But again, I can't remember this shit, especially when I'm this fucking angry at playing such a shitty-ass game. You know? It's like, early on, when it's still reasonably easy, I'm not that frustrated, so I make less mistakes, so I get less so I don't get as frustrated as quickly. But boy, does it start spiraling down when it gets worse. Like, you start making mistakes that you never should have made. Anyway. Okay, now it's time to count the victory points. Whee! That's going to be a big spreadsheet, which I have to put together. It's not. First, I get to breed. Nothing there. 1 of each here. Over there, I get a piggy and a sheep. Over there, I get a cow and a sheep. Right. Looks like it. We're not going to take that sheep to bed with us. Now I get to count my points, and I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Piss off. I calculated the amount of fields. Everybody's got 3 fields except one guy who has 1. Okay, well, at least I avoided my minus, right? No, the one thing in the game, everything else is like, you have none of them, you get a penalty. The one thing in the game that you get a penalty for having 1 of. Great. spreadsheeted it out, collecting the points from all the card items, and came up to these values. 39 for red, which seemed, you know, he was obviously in the best place. 24 for blue, 21 for purple. I was a little surprised they were that close, I don't know. But I forgot to add the bonuses for the different cards. Now I added the wooden hut bonus into the rooms right away, so neglecting that. Additional bonuses are a big deal. Blue, with this whole string of cards here, was worth 8, but most of those are occupations. They don't really get you points directly. This guy doesn't seem to have anywhere near as big a set of cards, but he pulled 15 points in bonuses from them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I don't know. I counted 15 last time. Maybe I'm wrong. Shouldn't, you know, I shouldn't add. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. I was just counting one for these coins, or counting the trade-in value, which is not what it was. Anyway, 15 points for that, which significantly boosted 2 of the players in value. This guy only pulled 3 points in total for these things. He had no bonus points anywhere down here. So purple actually ended up in last place out of everyone. Looks like he has a fairly good farm. I felt like he was doing okay in terms of the basic business of the game. But he really wasn't. Blue was doing just as well, a little better. Green, I actually felt like blue was doing really, really poorly, but blue seems to have caught up by fencing things in or whatever. Plus the stone houses and whatnot are worth additional points. A biggie is the number of people. If we take a look at the number of people, red was in the lead with 5 people, 44 points. Blue, 4 people. Green and purple were at the 3-person level. Yes, green managed to make up some ground with some good points. One of the reasons blue got so many points is that big old well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost no bonus points, though. This, I think, was worth 1. Well, I got them down as 8, so I cheated there, too. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make that 10 instead of 8, I guess, which means he's actually at 34. Puts him a little further ahead into that second place. For whatever it's worth, you know. It was pretty clear that red was doing really, really well. Being able to get the extra people into play. And extra people is, from what I can tell, you know, your big jump in the game. But if multiple people get extra people, they're going to get less and less off of the picks. And things like first player become more and more important as key locations. You know, you're going to be able to fill out and grab the things you need to some extent. But not much I can say about strategy in it. I honestly, you know, I've said it before, and I think it's really kind of the problem with the game. The key discriminant feature to the game is what cards any player is holding. Most of those cards are just useless. They don't do much. You're probably okay not playing many of your cards. You're probably okay playing the board more than the cards. And that's what red largely did. Although they did play everybody played a fair amount of cards. This guy, not so many. He should be a couple of victory points ahead, I think. But But the thing is, there are some cards that can give you a real advantage at certain times, and there might be some synergies that can as well. So I feel like there's sort of this, well, the cards are largely not that worthwhile, but then they are. You know? I mean, like this, the Quarry. Now, this was a hard one to get to because you have to have a bunch of occupations that are worth it, and it takes a while to get to that. And that's part of why his board is shitty, is he was working to get to that card. Likewise, much worse, the Stonehouse Clerk, or Storehouse Clerk, you have to store so much up to make it work good. Well, my assumption is that the cards are kind of okay. You know, that they're not going to fuck you over. This one I feel like fucked me over. I don't know if they're... Oh, I forgot the begging card. That brings him down to 41. At least everybody fed themselves for most of the game. That's better than the last time I played. Points about in the same range. 40-32. A couple of people really fucked up in the last one. I looked at the solo play, and the goal is like 50 for the first time you play it, and then it starts going up incrementally. But that's a situation, I think, where I didn't look over the rules too much at all, really. But I think that's a situation where you're playing and you just optimize the board play all on your own. You have no competition, no scarcity at all, and you can, like, you know, let a card pile up shit and go grab it or something. It says ages 12 and up, so, you know. Okay, the left-hand space... Oh, there is a two-player game. The left-hand spaces remain empty. Otherwise, play the game by the same rules as the multiplayer. Taking your turns after you play a minor improvement that should be passed to a player is removed from the game. Adult family members have to be fed more. And the 3-wood action space only produces 2 in a turn. Yeah. After the first play, choose an occupation and you keep it for subsequent games. Wow. And you keep adding another one, which makes it why you can increase the value each time. So it's hard to judge, you know, if you're competing with other people. I don't think the 40 score is a bad score particularly. But on the other hand, some of what it got may be out of taking things that other people kind of wanted and maybe should have taken before they did or whatever. So it's really hard for me to tell. It doesn't feel like anybody was really rocking. And at least this time it doesn't feel like anybody was totally hosed. I know purple didn't get a lot of points, but they don't look that bad. Some of the stuff I was looking at the first time I played looked a lot worse. It's still a fucking miserable experience, and I never want to repeat it. I could see playing it, you know, like if my wife wanted to play it, I would do it with her. She'd probably be pretty good at it. She tended to be a lot better at these. Although she didn't like the fox chicken grain type thing. She tended to be a lot better at playing these optimization manifolds than I am.